everyone, and welcome to Blaugrana everything, and welcome back to the channel. In the video, looking at some quick-fire news updates, as well as previewing tomorrow's match against Osasuna. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, before we get into the news section, which we're going to start with, I just wanted to touch on the fact that the football world was rocked by the news of the passing on of Diego Maradona on the 25th of November. He was someone with a storied career, one which was intertwined with FC Barcelona in more ways than one. Not only did he play for FC Barcelona between 1982 and 1984, but he is also someone who went on to influence two of the club's most iconic and legendary number 10s in Ronaldinho and Leo Messi. He was a man that wasn't short of flaws, but he was also a man who inspired many with his passion for the game and also the magic that he produced on the pitch. And it's ultimately for that reason that history will always remember it. Rest in peace, Diego Armando Maradona. So, the first quick-fire news update today is with regards to Gerard Piqué. It has been reported that the veteran ball-playing centre-back has opted against having a surgical procedure to treat the injury that he suffered against Atletico de Madrid last weekend. This means that Piqué will be unavailable for at least 4 months and up to 5 months. The next quickfire news update is regarding another centre-back, Samuel Umtiti. Ronald Koeman said in the pre-match press conference prior to the match against Dynamo Kiev that the centre-back could be available for selection once again in 2 weeks' time. With that time frame in mind, it could mean that we should be able to see him return to action, or at least be available for selection at round about the same time that Ronald Araujo will also be making his return. Araujo himself is still doing recovery training, and he has started training with the rest of the team, but just hasn't yet finished a full training session with him. The next and final bit of quickfire news is a Black Friday sale. No, but seriously, it's news to do with the reduction of salaries that Barcelona has been negotiating. So the club and the players have now apparently signed a principal agreement at a meeting that was held on Friday morning, and is expected to make a joint statement soon. So that's Friday the 27th of November. The principal agreement that has been reached between the representatives of the players and the club for the salary reduction could lead to the club saving as much as 122 million euros for the season after the reduction. 122 million. Tell me that's not the best Black Friday savings deal of all time. Okay, but now, on a more serious note, we can now move on and look at our match preview. And so, we'll start by looking at the two sides and their form coming into this game. On current form, the two teams actually head into this on equal footing. Both have won only one of their last 5 matches, losing 2 and drawing 2 in the case of Osasuna, and losing 3 and drawing 1 in the case of Barcelona. As a result, both teams sit side by side in the table on 11 points apiece in 13th and 15th places, with Barca only ahead on virtue of goal difference. And if that wasn't disappointing enough, then if you take a look at the recent head-to-head record from the Barcelona perspective, it gets worse. It's pretty worrying for Barcelona, really, that the following has been their recent head-to-head record against Osasuna since they returned to La Liga in the 2019-2020 season. They drew 2-2 with Barca at their home, and they won 2-1 at the Camp Nou. So for those in the Barcelona camp expecting that this opponent will be a pushover, they'd be better advised to rethink that sentiment. Having all that in mind, let's now look at the squad news for both teams. So first up, we have an update regarding Sergio Busquets on the Barcelona front. As things stand, everything indicates that Busquets will be available for the game against Osasuna. According to Adrià Bets, in the middle of the week, Busquets told trusted people that he had good feelings that in about 2 days he will be fine. He did work on the field on Thursday, and he did the same as well on Friday, and if he is fit enough, he will be in that list of players, which we will expect Koeman to add him to, because like I pointed out in the last video talking about Busquets Koeman seems to love to start him in every match that he can. As for Ronald Araujo, as mentioned earlier, he will not be available for selection, and the same goes for Samuel Umtiti. Now, reports have also been emerging today that Serginho Dest could be sitting out the game as the player has reported some muscular discomfort. Further details have yet to be availed, but all things point towards Dest not being available for Barcelona against Osasuna on Sunday afternoon. With that, we can then look at what we could expect to see from Barcelona with regards to a starting lineup. So we expect Messi, De Jong, Dembele, Jordi Alba, and possibly Griezmann to return to the starting 11. Of course, this is still keeping in mind the fact that Martin Braithwaite has made a good case to start this game based on his performance from Tuesday night. We expect to see Oscar Mingueza to start at right back possibly. At least those are the rumors that we have heard as far as how Koeman feels about who can fill in for Serginho Dest. That may mean that Koeman would then prefer to go with De Jong at centre back, which will be interesting to see. And of course, with Busquets again available, then we could probably see De Jong at centre back, Busquets and Pjanic double pivot type of situation. So here is just an idea of some of the players we would expect to see in a starting 11. I will go with what I would prefer as my starting 11, of course, with the current revelation of Serginho Dest's injury. In goal, I would go with Marc-Andre ter Stegen, and at right back, I would trust Koeman in saying that Mingueza could play there, though I've got no proof of that. But yeah, we'll go with Mingueza at right back, and then centre back pairing of Clement Langley and Frankie de Jong, with Jordi Alba at left back. But then my midfield double pivot would be Miralem Pjanic and Carlos Alenia, because Alenia was pretty good against Dinamo, and I would keep him in this 11. Would then have Ousmane Dembele playing down the right, Lionel Messi playing down the middle, Pedri starting down the left, and Martin Braithwaite up front. So maybe bringing on Griezmann and Coutinho as subs later on if I wanted to, affect that game should the current 11 fail to break down the opponent. But what would be more likely formation though from Ronald Koeman would be to have ter Stegen again in goal, Mingueza, like we had pointed out, at right back, Frankie de Jong centre back next to Clement Langley and Jordi Alba at left back, then Busquets and Pjanic as the double pivot, and Dembele down the right, then Messi in the middle, Coutinho on the left, and Griezmann up top. As for Osasuna, Chimi Avila, Brandon, David Garcia, and Adrian Lopez are all definitely out of the contest, while Jonathan Caleri, Aridan Hernandez, Juan Perez, and Lucas Toro are also doubts. As a result, the visitors will be far from full strength this weekend, but Arrasate has plenty of options for change with John Moncayola, Eric Galejo, and Nacho Vidal are pushing for spots in the side. Ruben Garcia and Ante Budimir should both keep their spots in the final third though. And if we take a look at how Osasuna set up in their last away fixture versus top opposition, that was away to Sevilla, they set up with a 4-4-2 as follows. I wouldn't expect them to change too much from this. Moving on now, we can take a look at our players to watch who could end up having a bearing on how the game goes. Due to the current injury crisis Barcelona is having, though, I have found it hard to pinpoint just one player on their part since the possibility of fielding a makeshift defense is on the cards. The defenders in question could turn out to play a crucial role in how things play out. So I'm going to go with Mingueza, should he start, and Ousmane Dembele. Basically, how well the two workouts down that right flank could end up deciding this match for Barcelona. For Osasuna, I'll go with a man who is already well accustomed to finding the back of the net versus Barcelona, that man being their striker, Ante Budimir. He's especially going to be vital for Osasuna's fortunes when you take into consideration that the real struggle that this team has is with getting goals. They have a pretty decent defensive record for a team of their caliber, conceding only one goal more than even Barcelona, with 9 goals conceded. With that all said and done, looking at Osasuna's poor away record so far in the season and Barca's strong-ish home record, I'll call this game as a win for Barcelona, though I can see this being the type of win where both teams get on the score sheet just because of how defensively Barcelona are far from solid with all these chops and changes that they're having at the back. Fingers crossed though that Barca score first because they seem to struggle whenever they concede first. With that, we've come to the end of this video. What are your thoughts on the upcoming game? Who do you think will be crucial to getting all 3 points for Barcelona? Please leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more content from Blaugrana Everything. Have a great day and Forza Barca.